Hi everyone, this is the second part of this series where we scrape websites based on Upwork web scraping gigs using Selenium and undetected Chrome driver. This time the client wants to scrape an Indian investing website. He wants the historical data, the release date, the time, the actual, the forecast, and the previous. So one, two, three, four, five columns in total. So I opened up the website here. This is it. And this is the historical data. So he wants this data and there is a button that shows more. So we press it and it shows us more. But the client wants the data from 2023 until 2013. Yeah, I believe so. Oh, it's 2010 actually. Okay, that's no problem. Well, my the way I would go about this is I would make the bot press the show more button until the last row of the data says that it's actually 2009. So that means that the data will show from 2023 until 2010. So here is the code. Uh, it needs a little bit of updating because I thought it was 2013, but that's no problem. First off, we import the necessary libraries such as the undetected Chrome driver module and the by class that helps us locate elements. Also the time module and pandas because we save the data in data frames, and also TQDM for a progress bar. Okay, we then initialize empty lists to store the data. We have release dates, times, actuals, forecasts, and previous's. No, there's supposed to be an E here, but I like it this way. Okay, we initialize a Chrome browser instance, then we maximize the browser window, make it a full screen, then we open the target website, like here. Okay, so it is opened now, and we need the bot to press the show more button until the last row of the data says 2010 or 2020, 2009 in this case because we want all of the data from 2010. So we locate the show more button. We locate it with the X path. So we go here and press inspect, and this is the button here in the HTML. So we copy its X path and we come here and paste its XPath. So the driver finds the element, which in this case is the button, the show more button. And we also need to find a container that has all the rows, that contains all the rows. So the container would be, come here, um, press this. Okay, so press this table, and this T-body. Yes, it contains all the rows. The rows are tr elements with a class attribute that is common table item. Okay, so once we locate the container, we copy its XPath actually. Then we paste it here as an argument, so the driver finds the element by its XPath, the container here, and I also make this variable, I initialize this variable as true for the while loop. So how the bot works is it presses show more, show more, show more until the last row has the time of 29. This should be 2009 actually, so we need to clear this up. 1009, 1009. I think that's it. Okay. Okay, so until the last row says 2009, and then the bot stops. So first off, it clicks on the show more button. Um, at the first loop, it clicks on the show more button, and it finds the last row in the container. So this last specifies which tr element we want, which is the last one, and we go descend one generation to its child, the first td, and then its span, and then we get that text. So I will show you here. Let's take this for example. So this is the first row, so we descend into its first child, the first td. Then we descend into the next child, the child of the td, the span element. Then we get its text. It shows us the date here. So we get the date from this, and we actually want only the year. This shows us the um, month and the day and the year. So we only want the year. So what we do is we split it. We split it by the comma and the space, and we take the last element, which in this case is only the year. So let me correct this. Okay, and this is where we get only the year. This print function actually prints the time every loop. Every loop it prints the whole the time completely, the month and the date, the day and the year. So it shows it here, and the this end equals backward slash r actually overrides the date here, so it overrides it every time um, the loop goes over and over. So every time this line changes to the last row, the time of the last row. Okay, so we print it and we check, is the last row, is the year of the last row, is it 2009? If so, if it is, then not 2009 is false. So this breaks the loop. So when the loop is finally broken, that means all the rows from 2023 until 2010, all of those rows are visible, and all of that data is available, which is the data that the client needs. So once it's broken, we we find the elements inside find the rows inside the container element, which are all the tr elements. So we loop through every row inside the container. So for every row in rows, I make a delay of 1 second for every row so as not to put too much load on the website. I try to so we try to get every um, data from the rows here. So every row has a release date, a time, an actual, a forecast, and a previous. So the first TD child of the row has the release date, and the second TD child of the row has the time, and the third has the actual, the fourth TD has the forecast, and the fifth has the previous, like here. So for the first row, the first TD has the release date, the second has the time, the third has the actual, the fourth has the forecast, and the fifth TD has the previous. So for every row, we get these data, and at the end, we print it as to show us the progress, like here. So, and if there is no data, we say that the data is none. So here's the except if it doesn't find this element, it actually says, for example, here the actual, we say it's none. And also for the forecast and for the previous and any data we want to store into our lists, any data we need to append into our lists. So we append it if it's there. If it's not there, we say it's none, and we also append it. So finally, after all of the rows are scraped and all of the data is stored into the lists, we make a data frame of them. So we we say list pd.data frame list, and we zip all of these lists together, and we name each column, and then we say we save it to a CSV. So here I named it investing.csv, and the encoding is UTF-8 SIG, and the index is false. And then we quit the browser. So I first thought it was they needed the data until it was 2013, so I set it to 2012. This would be the last row that appeared. So there was a total of 540 rows. So it scraped them all, and it created this CSV, and here it is, all of the data until it was 2013, and this last line we could delete right now. That's it. So after I updated it to 2009, it would scrape all of the data until December of 2009. So that's it. If you have any suggestions, any questions, please comment them, and I will answer your questions. Um, until next time.